Throughout the ages, civilizations have passed down stories of titans, men of impossible strength who rise from dust to furiously challenge the status quo. Whether to bring chaos to order or restore peace to a broken landscape, there's a force that draws near mythical heroes into battle. For millennia, the tale of David and Goliath has endured, and today, in a land not of prophets, but of raw beef organs and podcasting, two modern giants reign, so the story must be told again. But this time, not of David and a single Goliath, but a tale of two giants. One, a barbarian forged in the fires of ancestral fantasy, raw bull testicle, and unregulated felonious amounts of anabolic pharmaceuticals. And the other, a manlit warrior sage philosopher whose self-mythologizing has convinced himself less than 50 untrained men on Earth could best him in single combat. Behold, Goliath versus Goliath. A tale of overinflated confidence and exaggerated ego, all meat diets and the ancestral compulsion to storm the kingdom of another to triumph in martial conquest. Let us begin. Some wars begin with a single shot, an assassination of a public figure, or the desire of one nation to acquire the resources of another. The war between the Liver King and Joe Rogan began with a podcast.
He comes clean on steroids, I fucked up.
If you're not familiar, Liver King is the online persona of fitness, social media influencer, and entrepreneur Bryan Johnson, who built his brand around living a primal lifestyle by practicing the 9 ancestral tenets: sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, and bond. His claim that living this primal lifestyle is what enabled him to build his massive physique that can best be described as a warm marble statue covered in boiled hot dog skin. This claim that an ancestral lifestyle alone could achieve such a physique was debunked when Derek Monroe from the More Plates, More Dates YouTube channel outed Liver King as a liar by confirming the allegations regarding Liver King's steroid use.
Omnitrope, human growth hormone, pharma-grade, been taking this for 6 weeks. Testosterone cypionate, 0.6 cc per week. Deca, nandrolone decanoate, 0.6 cc per week, been taking this for 3 weeks. Winstrol, 50 milligrams a day. Just started this, been taking this for 3 weeks, and this is all presumably pharma-grade through the pharmacy mentioned and having a legitimate prescription. I know it to be the case that all of these are prescribable, even Winstrol, which sounds fucking baffling. And does it actually have like a clinical application that makes sense? Very rarely, but presumably he has a script for it.
This has been covered ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go into that here. I'll summarize my personal opinion by saying, if you're surprised to find out that Liver King was using performance-enhancing drugs, that's your fault. Just like a rational adult shouldn't believe in Santa Claus or American democracy, you should have known better than believing the Liver King was natural. Regardless, when Joe Rogan had More Plates, More Dates on his show in December of 2024, they didn't exactly hide their feelings towards Liver King.
You seen Liver King recently?
No, what's going on?
He seems like, I don't know, like borderline schizophrenic now.
Okay, but is that also, I think he was mentally ill, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think lying when it's really obvious.
Yeah.
Like, if I try to tell people I'm 6'3", that's an obvious lie. If I say that over and over again until somebody comes up with a ruler, that's crazy. So if you're doing that, you're lying about taking steroids when it's super obvious you're on steroids. Mm-hmm. You're 46 years old. You look like a fucking superhero. You're right. You're just super jacked. Yeah. And then gets caught. Yeah. Okay, so now he has to come out and say that he's... Now imagine your profile is elevated to the point where you could say to the regular person in the street, you know who Liver King is. Like, oh yeah, that roided up guy. Everybody knows who he is. Then the hate, because your labs come out and finds out he's on a shitload of things. This guy's juiced to the tits. But just imagine the psychological effect of being bombarded by people calling you a piece of shit and a liar and a fraud all day long. Every time you check your Instagram or whatever you got, your YouTube, the comments are filled with people who hate you.
The record's straight. Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I'm on steroids, and I'm already managed by a trained hormone clinician.
The comments and attitude didn't sit well with Liver King, so when the sun rose on a sweltering Austin, Texas in the summer of 2025, the Liver King stormed forth in a frenzy intent on confronting Joe Rogan and proving something. It's unclear what exactly to this day, but generally the public's reaction is that the conflict had to have been driven by some sort of human growth hormone-induced psychosis.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liver King. I'm picking a fight with you. Guess what? You're dead, bitch. You're dead. You're dead.
But in another age, we would have seen this for what it was. The frenzied trance driven by the rage of a Viking berserker, a warrior possessed by the spirits of beasts who hurled himself into battle screaming and foaming at the mouth, driven by visions sent to him by his pagan gods. Across the battlefield, comedian, podcaster, MMA commentator, and martial artist Joseph Rogan. Not just a rival chieftain or warlord from another tribe, Master Rogan has spent his life preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually for combat. With ice baths, grueling sauna sessions, and strict form kettlebell swings, Joe has tempered his roughly 5'5" body like glorious Nippon steel, folded over 1,000 times ready to cleave a man in twain with a single blow.
Yeah, that's a legit samurai sword from an actual samurai from the 1500s. If you pull out that blade was made the old way, where a master craftsman folded that metal and hammered it down over and over again over a long period of time and honed that blade into what it is now.
Joe Rogan once claimed only 50 untrained people in the world would be able to kill them with their bare hands. And with over 8 billion people on the planet, those odds don't look good for Liver King.
How many people on Earth do you think could kill you? Besides, like, professional MMA fighters, Navy SEALs.
No, it's not that many.
Like 3 who just had
They'd
a
have to be
great day.
giant.
Yeah,
They'd have to be
and you were
gigantic.
just, so you, what? So let's, 100, to be generous.
Maybe.
50.
Something along those lines.
Like the legendary Japanese swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, Joseph immersed himself in the martial arts, training ceaselessly.
Through doing things that are difficult, you learn about yourself. You know, there's my right arm, I have a tattoo of Miyamoto Musashi because I read a quote when I was 16 years old, when I was doing martial arts. I read the Book of Five Rings, and this is, that's Miyamoto Musashi on my right arm.
Bruce Lee once said, "I fear the man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times." And I think Joe Rogan may be that man. If you've ever talked to a Joe Rogan fan, they'll make sure to mention his fucking kicks. I can't stress this enough. They won't shut the fuck up about his kicks.
Okay, watch. 1, 2. Okay, ready? See the difference?
I'm not mad at Joe's form at all.
1. No. To the right. Turn your shoulder to the right. To the right. Now extend. 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 Straight. Don't look over your stomach. Look over your shoulder. Like this. Like this. Like that.
Joe once kicked a person so hard, he almost killed them. And it was in that moment when his sensei forced him to confront the killer instinct that separates a warrior from those who will never know the weight of discipline.
And he said to me, "I heard you had a really good knockout," with his thick Korean accent. And I said, "Yeah." I go, it was really scary because he never got up. I go, I thought he was dead. And he goes, "Sometimes they die."
Jesus.
And he just walked away.
It's in his DNA. It's unavoidable. His 5'4" frame is driven by the compulsion to kill.
I mean, to be prejudiced against myself, I look like a violent person. If I didn't know me, just even the way I'm built, not even just the working out part, just the size of my hands. And there's most likely a lot of violence in my history, in my past, in my ancestry.
Joe Rogan is a man presented as a perfect weapon, honed through years of repetition and ritualistic isolation tank meditation sessions, inviting a certain kind of challenge. But even the most polished blade must be careful where it points, because somewhere in Willis, Texas, walks a barbarian warlord who isn't afraid of razor-sharp steel. He fears only dishonor. And you do not, under any circumstances, want to invoke the unbridled wrath of a pure savage who looks at raw wiener as a delicacy.
You've eaten balls. We know that, right? You eat balls. Yes or no, you eat balls.
Lots of balls.
You ever ate a penis?
Lots of penises.
Liver King,
Now, do you have to have sex in a certain position because you're so big, and sometimes fat guys have a problem. They have to go into a certain position because I mean you're massive, right? So and also I don't know how well endowed you are, but like, what's the situation with your what position do you have to go in a position? Or are you guys fully flexible? Because you're both very muscular.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Never talk about my wife in this context.
Oh, okay.
But with all seriousness,
that's fair.
Damn, he's gonna
that's
kill
respectful.
you, dude.
Long before podcasts and exogenous testosterone, warriors followed an ancient rule. Strength must be tested when it's claimed. In Japan, this took the form of dojo yaburi, an event when a challenger crosses the threshold of another man's domain to challenge the master himself. There were risks on both sides. If the challenger won, the master's authority would collapse. With their reputation ruined, the students would abandon them. If the challenger lost, the defeat was public, and the challenger would depart back to their primal compound, humbled, to retreat to the shame of their cold steel hyperbaric chamber. On the morning of June 24th, 2025, Liver King resurrected the tradition of dojo storming, and things took a turn. The ritual was misunderstood.
Investigators say they discovered Johnson was traveling to Austin while continuing to make threatening comments towards Joe Rogan.
You can hold the hand of somebody that you love, because what happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did to give you something to fight for.
Johnson is now facing terroristic threat charges with a $20,000 bond. Rogan told detectives he'd never had any interaction with Johnson, and he felt threatened by the posts.
According to police reports obtained by Trillmar Investigations, Austin Police Department's Violent Crimes Task Force reached out to Joe Rogan. We can deduce a couple things from that fact. One, Austin, Texas must be the least violent city in America if this is what the Violent Crimes Task Force has to worry about. And two, when you're Joe Rogan, a wealthy, respected 5'3" warrior monk, the police proactively look out for your safety. I assume Joe Rogan has a solid relationship with the police given his status, wealth, and obvious case of the medical condition called cop skull. While the scientific community has abandoned the study of phrenology, one truth remains indisputable. A person's suitability for law enforcement can be gauged by nothing more reliable than the size and shape of their cranium. According to Bryson, our lead forensic investigator at Trillmar Investigations, while a normal skull cradles the brain safely in its fluid membrane, the unusually large bulbous shape found in conditions of cop skull allows the brain to tumble freely, washed endlessly by cerebrospinal fluid. Much like stones caught in a gentle stream, this constant motion polishes the brain smooth, devoid of friction, resistance, or the burden of any meaningful thought. According to the reports, Joe Rogan made the claim that Liver King has a significant drug issue and was needing help due to possible mental issues. Officers from the Violent Crimes Task Force responded with a warrant for Liver King's arrest at the Four Seasons Hotel. The following exclusive footage is what transpired that day. And to be clear, this is exclusive footage. It took like 3 months to get this shit. I had to pay a bunch of money and go back and forth with the Austin Police Department. It was a huge pain in the ass.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
The officers moved quickly. They didn't want to make a scene. They cited de-escalation and crowd control. Their priority, according to the report, was de-escalation. With the stated goal of minimizing public spectacle, before making contact, they geared down. Official recording devices were powered off and body cameras were removed. Only a cell phone remained active. The arresting report that followed is partially redacted. Names, personal details, standard procedural shielding. There is, however, one section that stands out. One line. And it raises more questions than it answers. I thought the negative publicity from an altercation with such a high-profile influencer, and specifically one who had recently publicly redacted in his redacted, would adversely affect the department. The redaction remains unclear. At first glance, one might assume something crude, a loss of composure, a bodily failure under duress. My first instinct was shit in his pants. But after a thorough review of the evidence, I found no documented instance of Liver King ever losing control of his bowels.
It's my toilet paper for taking a shit this morning. Most people don't know I take a shit at the south end of the garden. It's the best shit you can use. You should see what grows over there.
Given the man adheres to a rigid ancestral defecation schedule, such an event seems statistically improbable, which leaves the question, what exactly required concealment? What were they trying to hide? After reviewing the material, I consulted with an outside source, a chronically online, well-informed colleague. She directed my attention to a specific scene in the Liver King documentary. It appeared minor at first glance, but it wasn't.
And you're hearing the grunt? The smell of Bengay. It's like the most beautiful fucking playground. Let me tell you a story you won't fucking believe. My first fucking time I ever came in my life was on a bench press. I swear to God.
While the specifics are unclear, I think at this point it's safe to deduce the report originally read, "cummed in his gym shorts." It's pretty run-of-the-mill as far as police reports go, so there's not a lot of detail. Luckily, Liver King was documenting his side of things for the public.
I'm now recording while dealing with the cops outside.
The police were surprisingly accommodating, allowing the Liver King to have time for a family meeting, get dressed, and at the Liver King's request, complete his morning shit.
Could you just let them know, like,
You gonna take shit?
I could really be out of here in about probably 12 fucking... I'll set my timer for 12 minutes, and I can deliver on exactly those words.
Huh?
But I'll need for you to come back and tell me, let's start the time.
You're more than welcome to come in. He is asking to take his last shit.
I don't have 12 minutes. Can I have 2 minutes?
I've asked them, and
Can I have 12 or is it 2?
It has been 20 minutes.
So right now is it 12, 2 or 0?
It would be 0.
It would be 0. So you're saying it would be, but you didn't actually follow through with that action. So is it 20 seconds? Is it 30? 20 seconds or 30? Like if man to man. I don't have my shoes on. I was taking a shit. I actually haven't broken the law. My real family is here. You're a real man. You're a real woman. If you have a family, you know what this might feel like to a mom. You said I had no time, 0. And you've given me this much space because you know what's actually right. You know what's actually right. And so you're telling me I can't have 12 minutes to swallow myself out of here?
As previously mentioned, Liver King maintains a strict routine when it comes to his bowels, including daily coffee enemas, which he's overshared on video multiple times.
Good morning, Primals. This is Mr. Enema Bucket. That's coffee, Keon coffee, the best kind, so I can drink some of the coffee both ways. This is like the 4th one that I'm doing, and that's how I'm doing it. Yeah. Oh, whoa. That's a good feeling. I'm not embarrassed that I do coffee enemas. I'm trying to hurry up. Oh, there it goes. It's going good. And as I keep doing it, oh, the police are coming, or something's happening, somebody's overreacting.
Obviously, this creates exigent circumstances for this particular situation, or shituation, if you prefer. After a short back and forth, the officers agreed to allow Liver King exactly 12 minutes to expediently evacuate digested bull testicle and bone marrow from his asshole.
So can I have 12 minutes to just finish my actual shit? I did 4 coffee enemas this morning. My intestines don't work like yours. That's what so that man to a man, can I have 12 exact minutes? We set our timer and I'll deliver on my word. Thank you. Hold on. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's lock it the fuck down. This bad plan, lock it down. I'm not giving you that right now, but I know that you're friendly. Thank you. Boys, we're leaving in 12 minutes exactly, okay?
Following the arrest, during transport to the station, the subject appeared upbeat. His speech was coherent, though unfocused. The conversation drifted without clear direction, but he remained cordial with the transporting officer.
where are you from originally?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
You know what? I'm from the friendliest fucking state in the world, the best country in the world. It's called Texas. You know what Texas means, bro?
What does it mean?
Do you know?
No.
It actually is like Spanish. Tejas is Spanish for friendly. Yeah, Texas is pretty friendly. But you know what I love about how friendly it is? We can only be this friendly because we can also be as dangerous as it allows us to be with these laws that make this great fucking place called this place.
What you're about to see is the moment the tone changes. Until now, The subject has been relaxed, conversational, almost entertained by the process. But an interrogation room is designed to psychologically break a suspect. And how do you break a broken man? To most of us, being handcuffed, put in the back of a cruiser, and rushed into an interrogation room would have been enough of a hint. But Liver King demanded clarity.
What was that? Am I arrested?
You are.
And they don't tell you why?
Yeah, the lead detective will give all that information to you. It's a terroristic threat, is what it's called.
Whether it was self-soothing or part of Liver King's strict training, he began hopping around. From a behavioral standpoint, this could be interpreted as displacement activity, a primitive attempt to assert control in an environment stripped away of autonomy. Once ritual concluded, verbalization resumed. At this point, we'll allow the subject to narrate his own actions.
Terroristic threat? A terroristic threat? Wow. I didn't know. Terroristic. Then they'll have to tell you that you're in the state of Texas. And they don't have to tell you. They can just arrest you. I don't know how you get out of this box. How long do you spend in the box? Do they tell you how long you spend in the box? Before somebody is like, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, how many people have to get fired? I hope that we all get raises and promotions, like when some of us abandon protocol. Abandon ship, abandon protocol.
Liver King then proceeded to clear his nasal passages and wipe his face using his shamag, now visibly soiled. A box of tissues sat in reach, untouched. Psychologically analyzing this could indicate heightened focus on immediate tools at hand, or perhaps a subtle disregard for conventional hygiene norms while under duress. Less than 10 minutes had passed, though it might as well have been an eternity. A detective then enters the room and begins questioning Liver King.
Hey.
I'm Detective with Austin Police Department. How you doing?
What is it?
Detective with Ike.
Calm and polite, remarkably, he treated the detective with courtesy.
But did you know that they could arrest you in Texas without telling you that you're arrested?
We'll get all into it. Let me.
That's what happened, and then they also don't have to read you any rights.
So that we're going to talk right now, real quick.
Yeah, and they can still arrest you. They don't have to tell you you're being arrested. If you're a terroristic threat, the Violent Crimes Division is able to do that. They don't have to tell you that you're being arrested. They can just detain you, not tell you any rights, and then put you in here, and then put me with you.
I don't know if you have any involvement with law enforcement. I just kind of want to tell you about myself.
If you don't mind, I'm going to skip all that. I don't want to know about you. I just want you want to know about me. And so let's skip everything about you, and whatever you want to know about me or the situation, let's elucidate that as fast as possible.
Okay, absolutely, sir. I respect that. Let me read you this. You have the right to me.
At this point, the subject, Liver King, adopts an unusual assertive posture, directing the detective to dispense with the formalities and just take him straight to jail.
You have the right to terminate this interview at any time. You understand these?
There's one that I don't. If I have the right to terminate this interview at any time, what would happen next?
Then you and I are done talking.
And then can I leave?
Yes, sir. You'll be arrested and go down to the jail.
Oh, so I'm not arrested?
You are arrested. That's what I'm saying. When we're done talking.
Okay, I'll terminate this interview.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay.
Put me in jail. Let's go.
When asked to surrender his phone, he refuses. The refusal appears to be some sort of deliberate power play, possibly intended to test boundaries, assert dominance and control, or more likely, provoke the officer into making a mistake.
So, do you mind? I saw that you have your phone on. Do you mind if I have that? You're not allowed to have a phone in here per policy.
So you're asking me the question, if it's a demand, you guys can do whatever you need to do. But you said, do you mind? Yeah, I mind. It's my phone, and it's what I have on me right now. So maybe there's a protocol, and you should use different language.
Well,
so
I don't want to demand, like, I don't want to be disrespectful or any sort of, like, I'm trying to show you the utmost respect. So
I haven't seen any of that.
Okay, I'm just asking. You don't think I'm being respectful to you?
Well, think about this. You said, do you mind? Yeah, I mind. So the answer is yes, I mind.
Okay. Can you give me your phone?
I could.
Will you give me your phone, please?
I would like not to do that.
Okay. I am asking you if you will pass me your phone.
I prefer not to.
I understand you prefer not to, but you're not supposed to have a phone.
You understand how this is going to go.
Okay.
So whatever it is required, that's demanded for somebody to remove phone off body is what's next. Because I can answer any of your questions because I know the principle of the matter. You just haven't thought like that. You've never met an organism. I don't go in your protocol. So
no,
do me a favor.
Let me
talk for 30 seconds. Let me talk for 30 seconds. Let's just skip all the lines. Whatever needs to happen next to move to the next step.
Yeah.
Throw whatever. Please, let's just do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I'm asking you, the next step is, can I have your phone?
If I've already answered the same question, if you don't mind, I'm not going to repeat myself.
Okay.
Are you recording everything we're doing?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. All right.
Analyzing the detective's actions, he exhibits a de-escalation through non-action, an understandable response, enclosed with a physically imposing subject whose psychological state may or may not be compromised. The optimal strategy is caution. Liver King then requested to go to the pisser, and the detective agreed.
My name's Detective Ike. If you need anything, let me know in the meantime, okay? Just knock on the door.
Can I use the pisser? Well, if it takes more time for you to do your job, to take me to... Can you ask somebody to escort me to the pisser while you do whatever you need to do?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can take care of that for you.
Promises made, promises broken. Not allowed to go to the pisser, Liver King began the journey to jail. It was a less friendly ride than the previous trip to the police department, somber and without the faintest hint of amusement.
Brian, I don't know all your backstory. Where are you from?
If you don't mind, I'm not going to be as friendly as I normally am.
That's fine. That's entirely up to you.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan stays silent. Like a living terracotta warrior, Master Rogan hasn't officially commented on Liver King's arrest or the challenges. He waits, like a silent assassin, ever ready for his empire to come under threat again. While most agree Liver King would immediately be dispatched by way of submission if the two were ever to fight, I don't agree. And I don't think Joe Rogan agrees either. Why else would he have had his private security deal with the police? Joe's head of security, Philip Forbes, probably should have been redacted from the police reports, but being left in, I decided to do a little poking around. Prior to working security, Philip Forbes reportedly served in the military and later managed a gym in Cedar Park, Texas. During his time managing the gym, Forbes stated a teenage member claimed to be a United States Marine sniper.
Greg would come in pretty often, probably at least 5 days a week. Conversations with Greg were just typically small talk. A lot of times they did involve, him talking about his military service and that he was in the Marine Corps and his deployment to Afghanistan.
The specifics of the conversation aren't well documented. What is documented is that Forbes later testified against that teenager in court, but not as a neutral observer. He was the sole character witness.
I don't know who he was. He was a liar.
I was pretty upset for being lied to. It's just, people shouldn't lie about military service.
Forbes told the jury he wouldn't believe anything Kelly said.
Kelly was eventually found guilty and convicted of doing stuff with kids, you know what I mean. But about 3 years later, in a rare consequential decision, the Court of Criminal Appeals of Texas overturned the conviction. And there's nothing that ever suggests that the gym conversation was anything central to the case, but it is notable.
When that guy walked in, it was weird because he got up there and I'm asking myself, what is this guy doing here? I was asking myself, where did that come from? And I told my attorney, I said, man, this is complete BS. She said to me that this is completely irrelevant. We don't have to worry about this.
I remember specifically, I took a phone call, work phone call, and I kind of walked through the hallway towards the entrance. Well, that's when the gym owner, where they escort him in, he had a complete escort.
He has law officers that escort him in and escort him out.
When someone volunteers to define a young defendant's character in court, the implications extend beyond a single exchange in a weight room. It's tempting to become conspiratorial here, and while I'll do my best to avoid that, I need to remind you that context matters. In the case involving Greg Kelly, the record reflects substantial misconduct. From a police officer conducting a child advocacy interview to withholding exculpatory evidence, the conviction was ultimately vacated by the Court of Criminal Appeals. Against that backdrop, Forbes' testimony based on a brief encounter in the gym carries a different weight in retrospect. Now, years later, the same individual levels accusations of terrorist threats, and again, we see law enforcement respond immediately. There's also a professional trajectory, from managing a commercial gym in Cedar Park to providing security for individuals operating at the highest levels of wealth and influence. Is it fair to be suspicious of career advancement? Not necessarily, but patterns are worth observing, but without further evidence, we can't speculate any further. Others have commented on what Liver King's intentions were. Liver King had a black box with the Joe Rogan Experience logo on it, which the Liver King security guard did confirm contained 2 custom-made staccato pistols, which were actually meant to be gifts for Joe Rogan. By the way, staccato pistols are expensive as shit and pretty rad. As another Texas resident, I would graciously accept one or even both as a gift. Liver King, if you're watching. Back in November, Liver King's single charge of terrorist threats was dismissed upon completing some counseling classes, which would have confirmed him not to be a threat to himself or society to the best of their ability. Liver King has since continued his crusade against Rogan, posting videos and even making a petition to support his cause available at fujoerogan.com, which currently forwards to blessjoerogan.com. Will we ever see these 2 titans locked in a pharmaceutical-grade human growth hormone battle for reckoning? Unlikely. Will a 5'2" Joe Rogan ever invite Liver King onto his show to squash the beef?
Joe Rogan made a pretty interesting statement on his show. Joe Rogan said something to the effect of, I don't think he's doing any of that, he's got an ass full of steroids, that guy.
Also unlikely, but we can hope. It's entirely possible the claims are true, that Liver King is abusing drugs or in the midst of some prolonged mental decline. That's certainly the prevailing theory, but I tend to lean contrarian. There's a part of me that suspects that this may be something else entirely, a subversive Andy Kaufman-level performance art experiment playing out in real time.
Would you like a tissue? Would you like a tissue?
I hope that's the case anyway. I hope Liver King is just playing the long game to get back on top. I'm going to let the third titan, Mike O'Hearn, another 100% completely natural bodybuilder, explain it.
Some people play chess, some play...
In ancient times, men became legends through conquest and labors of the gods. Today they do it through content and attention. Joe Rogan built his myth on discipline and danger, while Liver King built his on spectacle and shock. But both depend on the same fragile currency of belief. If that belief is ever doubted and views drop and engagement begins to decline, escalation is the only option for survival, because in the arena of content, irrelevance is the only true defeat. And so here we arrive. Allegations and arrests, deep dives into executive security conspiracy, an emperor reigning comfortably while a king is without a kingdom. I, Trillium Mar, first of his name, warden of the comment section and bender of context, do swear before gods and man that this dispute shall linger no longer unresolved. To settle it, we must return to the chivalric traditions of old. I'm talking about trial by combat. In ages past, when words failed and courts were unable to conclude a matter, a proxy of honor would step forward, a champion and sworn blade to bear the burden of another. So I stepped forward, nominating myself as champion for Joseph Rogan. Don't mistake this for fandom or an act of loyalty. It's devotion to the principle and sacred architecture of medieval jurisprudence. Every accusation deserves resolution. Let the petition be signed at blessliverking.com. Liver King, while you outweigh me by many a stone, we are roughly the same stature. 2 short kings ready for battle. Let the field be chosen. Let the terms be agreed. For the horns of war have sounded. Let history remember who answered the call.